Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a fancy prince. This fly works really good for me in the summer months. It's going to be a LivelyLegz fancy prince. Our materials are, we're going to use the LivelyLegz lip splitter 475 size 12, and it's a 3 extra long. And I like my LivelyLegz a little bit long. 2X, you should actually use at least a 2X because the bead takes up a lot of the space on the hook. The bead that I'm going to use is the LivelyLegz Down and Dirty Tungsten bead, 3mm silver. And the legs are going to be the LivelyLegz size 14-12 rust legs. They're a nice brownish color. For the tail, we're going to use, this is golden pheasant crest, and here it is on the skin. You got the pheasant tippets and the pheasant crests. And when you're doing nymphs, you basically want to get those ones off the bottom because they're the smallest. You don't want to waste one of these feathers that are, 3 inches long on a nymph. We're also going to use white goose biots and peacock herl. And I'm going to use a dark olive thread. A dark thread is all you need. A black is fine. And this is 8/0 thread. Now I'm going to put a base of thread down. I'm almost out of this olive. That's why I'm using this dark olive. This spool is almost finished, so I'm going to finish that up. I'm going to go about halfway. And then come back to the bead. Now we're going to put our leg on first, and here's our leg, and the right angle, or the one that's almost right angle, is the front leg. But we're only going to use 2 legs. We're going to cut one set of legs off, and because the peacock herl is so puffy when you wrap it, I'm going to use the 2 bigger legs, the middle and back set. Now when I tie these on, I'm going to start with it on my side, and when you wrap it, you're going to end up right on top. I'm going to put about 4 wraps there. I'm going to move it to the middle and put 4 or 5 wraps there. Move to the back. Now the back one, you got to hold that tab that's in the back to keep it on top and from moving to the side. And we're just going to trim off that back tab. You just grab it and pull it. And we're going to take that front leg off. And we're just going to pull that up and trim that. You could save all of those extra legs and tie them in one at a time if you care to. I have hundreds of them that are single. Now we're going to move our thread back to the tail. And I'm going to take one of the golden pheasant crest, and I like that. This is a nice one. I like the way it curves up. We're going to tie that on. And that tail, you want that tail about half the length of the body. Go ahead and give it a loose loop. Pull it straight down. I'm holding it tight so that it doesn't roll on me. There we go. Although it almost straightened out, you still got that little bit of a curve there. Going to go ahead and trim that off. Now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to put a brown Goose Biot in. For this is going to be like the Wingcase. Go ahead, I'm going to tie it between the legs first. And then I'm just going to kind of give it an X there. And doing that X actually pushes those legs down slightly. I'm going to just stand that up to kind of get it out of my way. But I'm going to put a loop, one wrap underneath the tail, help that stand up there just a little bit more. Now I'm going to take my silver tinsel, and this tinsel is a 16-18 tinsel. It's skinnier. It's a skinnier tinsel, and I like to have my ribs skinny. If you have wire, if you have a silver wire, that would work too. A fatter silver wire. So we're just going to tie that in. Put that up in the material clip there. Now I'm going to take my Peacock Herl. I'm going to trim a little bit off the top. Get rid of the brittle stuff. And I misaligned them. There we go. Got them lined back up. We're going to tie those in there. And we're going to bring our thread all the way up to the bead. Just be careful around the legs. You don't want to knock them out of position. Gonna kind of give it a little bit of a figure 8 on those front legs. And they're not going down, but that's fine. Now we're going to take our Peacock Herl. I'm going to turn it so I can see the point. And they split, but they'll come back together. There we go. And I'm not using my rotating feature because I'm so used to wrapping them in this manner. That wing case up there out of the way a little bit. I'm so used to wrapping them in this manner that I find that it's quicker. It's kind of a little bit, got to take it easy around the legs and around that wing case. I'm going to kind of give it a little bit of a, almost like a figure 8. And I'm going to come across the bottom with it. There we go. Remember, the bottom is the important part. This top is going to be covered over with that wing case. And we're going to come up to the front, and I just move them up. No figure 8 needed there because that's going to be all covered. Let's see what the bottom looks like. Bottom looks good. So I'm going to tie this off here. Fold them back, give it like 3 wraps in front of them. And we could go ahead and remove that. Fold that back up again. Just don't press too hard, you don't want to break it. Now I'm going to take the tinsel and I'm going to palmer this, meaning open spaces. You may hear people talk about palmering a fly, and they're talking about a dry fly, and actually what they're doing is tight wrapping it. And I'm going to bring that right up all the way to the bead. And we're going to tie that off there. And you can see that tinsel wrapped right up to the top there. Give it a three or four wraps. Fold it over and put a couple of wraps on top of it, and that's not going to go anywhere. Now we're going to take our white Goose Biots and fold them, and you get them separated very nicely. And we're going to tie these in an X pattern on the top of the fly there. We're going to take that natural curve And I'm also going to make that leg, or the wing, go past that back leg. So I'm going from the front on my side to the far side to the back on the far side. You just put 3 wraps in there is all you need. Find that other one. Find that natural curve. Size that up to the one that's on there. You could also look at the fronts, because when you pull them off, they're going to be the same length. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. And there's our X. Now I'm going to take my wing case and I'm going to fold that over. And I'm going to tie that in. 3 or 4 wraps. And then I could bring all 3 pieces up. And I'm holding the legs out of the way also at this point. And we could secure them. Now these are going to be facing to the back, but we're just going to lift them up. Give me that. We'll take them one at a time. There we go. These 2 will go at the same time. Just be careful you don't cut a leg off. And now we're looking at that, and you can actually see that fold over there. Now you can finish off and clean that head up with your thread. I prefer to put a little bit of dubbing on there, and the dubbing that I like to use is my Black Rabbit crystal dub. And this is Black Rabbit with olive GSS mixed into it. If you want to know how to mix this, I have a video in the materials playlist where I'm mixing the Black Rabbit crystal dub. But before I do that, I want to put some head cement on the Goose Biots itself. Put on a not too conservative, put a pretty generous amount on there. And we're going to wrap this. And now I'm going to take my whip finish, put the hook over the thread, around the camel hump, bring the thread back, and now we have that X. Take that X down to the hook shank, and then just rotate your whip finisher. Give it 3 to 6, and then take the camel hump out, and pull the hook to the shank. Tighten that up. Take the old poke and snip cuticle trimmer. It's already got head cement on there. And here we have a LivelyLegz Fancy Prints. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors and let them know I sent you. If you'd like to purchase any flies from me, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it there, just send me a message on Etsy and we'll figure it out. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.